2008 Land Rover LR2. I'm gonna start getting the AC compressor out. So I've done is I put a set of vice grips on this clamp because we're gonna have to remove the airbox. And I think my clip is broken, but if you drop a screwdriver in here and just wedge it in there a little bit, you can push the connector down and get it out. I've got a ton of videos on taking this apart, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. You pull the airbox up, rotate it, rotate it out, and there's our compressor. So I'm going to have here is this mounting bracket. We'll see if the whole bracket has to come off. It probably does. These two bolts, there should be one on the underside here, and then the lines, two lines coming in. Looking around here, I'm going to try to get the compressor out without removing this bracket, because this is the only bolt that's holding it in place. If you look at the new compressor, you got 1, 2, 3 points that secure it. And this compressor, which has already been replaced apparently, has a tag that says it has 3 ounces of oil with a fill plug. The new compressor does not have a fill plug. I'm going to assume it runs 3 ounces of oil as well. I'll have to look up some specs and see what the full system needs. But right now what I'm going to do is get down to the tensioner, which is right under here, and try to loosen it up so I can get the belt off. So what I'm going to try here, and I have the old tensioner from when I changed it recently, 19 millimeter. I'm going to pull it down, and then this feature here, this bump, there's a pinhole there. Tensioner came with a pin similar to this Allen key, and you slide it down and drop it in, and it'll lock it in place. Then I don't have to worry about it anymore. Okay, so you can see my wrench here. It's on the tensioner. I just moved it a little bit to push the belt off. I know I said I was going to drop that pin in. I found myself having a hard time articulating it backwards with all the harnesses and everything in the way. Okay, so these two 10 millimeters are loosened up, and this 13 millimeter down here is loosened up. What I'm going to do is loosen up the lines now. Here, there's a stud with a clip, and then the actual nut behind it, and then I'll pull the lines off. So these are both 10 millimeters. Loosen this one up, and this one. That allows me to slide this off. Now this line's loose, and I can get this, assuming 10 millimeter off. All right, this 10 millimeter was a stud. So now these lines can get pulled off. The line's pulled right off. Now I'll start getting these bolts out, actually removing them, and get the compressor off. So these 3 bolts are loose. I'm not able to rock this at all, so I'm going to take this bracket off. So this was another 10 millimeter. Loosen that one up. Now this is loose, so I'll try to pull the whole thing out. One additional minor thing to do is to fully extract this screw, that bolt, and then unclip this tab with the harness. It just hangs over the top there. So now the compressor's pretty free. I just got to figure out the right angle to rock it out. Alright, so this 13 millimeter had to come out to get this bracket out, to get the rest of the compressor out. So I'll work on that. Also had to remove these 2 electrical harnesses here. The clips, they're these guys. They have a single tab on each side. Push downward, and now the compressor can come out. Compressor is out. What I'm going to do is pull the plug, drain the oil out, rotate it a little bit, see how clean or dirty that is. I'm going to end this video here, and we'll probably pick up, I think, with me taking the front end off the car I might loosely install this, but I'd stop to flush the line, so I'm not ready for that yet.